there are many things I wish I knew when I was leveling, when it comes to leveling. So there's the leveling during the campaign, which is kind of simple because then you just got to do the campaign, but with a few caveats. And then you have the end game leveling, which is a different animal. Now, the leveling during the campaign is kind of obvious. You got to do the campaign, right? You got to enjoy the game, enjoy the campaign. Not much to it there. You do whatever missions you have to do. Now, if you want to hurry it up a bit, or if you want to get more things done at once, what you can do is you can pick campaign missions that are inside of dungeons. That way you can complete the dungeons and complete the mission both at once, and you would also get the aspects that you can find at the dungeons, which you would need later on for either your main or your alts. So you can do multiple things at once like that, but that's something you're going to figure out anyway while you're playing, how to manage it so that you can maximize your gain. So you don't have to do things twice. You just wait for the missions to appear. You check which missions are appearing inside dungeons, and then you do those dungeons. So you get the dungeon XP, you get the XP from the mission, and you get it done, and you get the aspect. So you get 3 things done at once. And there are little things like that you can do while you're leveling. When it comes to endgame, it's a completely different animal because endgame doesn't have that story to carry you, so it can get boring. Because to be honest, the game was built for the campaign plus a little bit extra. Anything beyond that is a bit of a no man's land in terms of gameplay because there's really not that much to do. And a lot of people are treating the game like your classical MMO, although this has many MMO aspects. It's not really an MMO in the sense that your classical MMO will have requirements for certain levels to do certain raids, and then you have multiple raids coming out, and you have multiple levels of raids that you have to organize, and everyone has his own class, and everyone needs to be a specific level, have specific gear, etc. Here you don't have that. Like once you're done with the game, there's nothing. You could be level 70, 80, 90, or 100. It's almost the same. Like you'll have pretty much the same loot, give or take a little bit better or a little bit worse, but then, what for, right? Like even though I can get like +2 on here or plus 10% on there, it's useless. It's not like there's a raid waiting for me and I really need that loot to be at a certain level so I can do this extremely hard raid with my friends and get some incredible loot in there. The loot's always going to be more or less the same, so there's no huge incentive to do anything for the loot because, again, the loot is not that special, and so there's no incentive to actually play because it becomes extremely repetitive. So, having said that, having gotten that out of the way, because a lot of people are rushing, sometimes even unfortunately skipping all the content to reach level 100 quickly or level 90 quickly, and then they realize, like, why am I here? Why did I rush and kill myself to get this far when there's nothing to do here at level 100 or at level 90 or at level 80? There's nothing to do besides doing the same thing you've been doing all over again. So yeah, this game was very much built for more of a casual play style, and the proof of that is the seasons that we're soon going to have, and we're going to talk about that when it starts. But they have the seasons thing that's like every 3 months. So that tells you, and they said themselves, that this is just because they want to keep on giving content that's going to reset everything and have you be able to bring in friends and your friends not be like completely falling behind in terms of feeling like they're not the correct level, etc., since everybody's going to restart at the same level. So this tells you that the way they're pushing this game is more towards a casual, relaxed audience, not the hardcore MMO audience, right? So having said that, it's still enjoyable to play beyond level 70, just not extremely enjoyable anymore because that there's not much to look forward to, but it's just that the gameplay is so much fun and addictive, the game loop, that you keep doing it anyway, even though you don't expect a lot of good loot, and a lot of the loot is not that good actually. You still get sacred all the time. I don't think I've seen better loot than what I have in 5-6 levels. So It's really rare to find a good piece of loot, no matter what you do, no matter how hard your dungeon, your nightmare dungeon is, etc. Now, that being said, there are ways to make this interesting. First of all, what you're seeing on screen, the hell tides. That's the best part of the end game and of the leveling process. It gives you a lot of XP and it's really exciting. I'm going to explain how to go into it and what to do specifically to make it even more interesting and even more productive. And then you have other things such as the legions, the gathering legions. So you have, let's say, 4 things to do, right? You have the gathering legions, which is by far the most boring thing. But it gives, I think, for the amount of time you spend in it, it gives the most XP. And there is something you can do, by the way, is you can stroke that flame here, keep the flame alive, interact with the flame at every camp. There's a campfire at every one of the legions, and it gives you stacks of extra XP for the monsters that you kill. Like here on screen, you can see we have 5 stacks. We're at 6.3 million XP overall. I'm going to compare that to the end. So you're stroking the fire. We have 7 stacks now. It goes up to 15. I don't know exactly how much the percentage gain of the XP is when you do that, but I made it a thing to get like a little bit earlier and stroke the flame up to 15 while I wait, because it seems like it's giving us quite a bit of XP on top of the XP that we get. And as you're going to see here, by the end, we got about 700k of XP, right? So it's almost 750,000 XP per gathering legions, and you're having one every half an hour, I believe. So there's plenty of them to go around, and if you're going to get, 750,000 every time, all you need is like 5 of them a day and you're up a level, depending on which level you are, obviously, but you're going to go up levels incredibly fast with Gathering Legions. So Gathering Legions, super boring, super repetitive, but by far the most XP for the time it takes you to complete it, which is like 5 minutes, right? In 5, let's say 10 minutes max, you're getting like 750,000 XP. Now, the other thing that can be fun and gives you a lot of XP, the Nightmare Dungeons. Now, obviously, the higher the tier of the Nightmare Dungeon, the more XP you get, and you're killing a lot of monsters in there, which in tier 4 are giving you a lot of XP. So you get a ton of XP, and it's really challenging. It's the most challenging thing in the game if you want to challenge, if you want to test yourself and see how far you can go. That's the ultimate thing. So most challenging, it can be quite fun and frustrating sometimes, and you set your own level. So you can craft these sigils, as you know, at the occultist, and you can pick which level you want, so you can keep going further in the levels to see how far you can go. And if you do them with a friend, that's even more fun and more challenging, and the rewards are quite good. Now, they're not epic, like we said. There's no incredible rewards after level 70. It's pretty samey, and rarely you'll get something that surprises you, but they're challenging and they give a lot of XP. Now, what's more about the Nightmare Dungeons that's really important is the Paragon. The Paragon, right here, we have all of these that drop, right? They're glyphs. The glyphs drop in the Nightmare mode, and those glyphs, you're going to add them to your Paragon boards. As you can see here, every Paragon board has a glyph slot. The nodes, each one of them does something specific. Like this one, it says next radius at level 15, so you level them up, and that's why the Nightmare Dungeons are so important. Besides the challenge and the loot, you're using the Nightmare modes to level up your glyphs. And the glyphs are going to make you super powerful when you use them in your Paragon board, because each one does something specific, as you can see here. First of all, the radius is going to grow, so this is the radius of 3. When it's radius of 4, it goes 1 more on every single side, so it englobes more. And they do different things. Like, for example, this one, right? This glyph that dropped in a Nightmare dungeon and that I leveled up in the Nightmare dungeon to... what level is it now? I don't know. Oh, wait a minute. To level 7? No. Yeah, to level 7. By doing the Nightmare Dungeons, the amount of glyph XP you get in every Nightmare Dungeon is 2 times the level of your Nightmare Dungeon plus 2. So if you're doing dungeon level or dungeon tier 22, you get 44 points plus 2, so that's 46. You get 46 points or XP for your glyph, right? And the first level of every glyph is what? I can't tell from this, but the first level is like 8 XP, the next level is 16, the one after that is 28, or etc., etc., etc. And you want to level this up because this one, whenever you level it up, it gives you +5 to damage with maces, right? So here I'm getting 20% damage with maces. The next time I upgrade it, I'll get 25, and the next time 30, and the next time 35. So can you imagine the amount of damage? Oh, and this takes into account for every 5 strength purchased within the range. So this is a 5 strength. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? So it's 7 times 2.5, and you add 5% to every level to that. So, and plus, while wielding a mace, you deal 30% increase in overpower damage as well, because I met the bonus, which is to have 40 strength within that board. So can you imagine how much damage you're getting every time you level up this glyph? I'm leveling up this glyph to 35%, then 40%, then 50% extra damage from the mace, and that mace includes all the other damages like the core damage and the basic damage, etc. So it's a humongous multiplier. That's the main reason you're going to do your nightmare dungeons, which of course are giving you also loot, so-so, and a lot of XP. There's the world bosses that are fun the first 2-3 times around, but then it gets really silly and boring and you kill them in a second. They give very little XP. I would do each one once or twice and I would avoid them altogether after that. So I would definitely focus the most on the Hell Tides, then on the nightmare, especially if you have a friend to do them with, and lastly on the Gathering Legions. And you can turn that around if you're rushing to get XP. But again, there's no rush, because I believe that we're not going to see endgame content that's going to make use of anything above level 70 for possibly over a year. I don't think we're going to be needing anything above 70 for, like, in terms of the content, until the expansion, which may or may not come, and if it does, I don't see it happening before a year, perhaps longer. So you're really not in a rush. You can always, get a level or 2 a week. It's amply sufficient, because again, you have like a year to reach level 100, as if reaching level 100 is anything. I mean, it's still nothing. You're still like gonna do the same exact thing over and over again, and whatever little extra you get in terms of damage is not going to be used anywhere specific to get anything specific. So it's just the same thing. Like at 75, you're really done. You're done, and then you can go up obviously slowly, especially if you're enjoying just that loop of killing things. Then it's completely fine. Let's go back to the important part. The legions, I don't need to tell you how to do them, except for the fire thing. That you should keep in mind, and you should do just in case it gives a lot of XP. I'm not sure how much it does. If somebody knows, please tell me in comments. In terms of the nightmare, again, if you can do it with a friend, it's really fun. Alone, it's so-so, but it provides a big challenge for you and a lot of XP. And finally, the Hell Tides. So the Hell Tides, when you're doing them, there's multiple things you can do at the same time. There's one thing I forgot actually, and that's the tree, the Whisper, okay? The tree of Whisper that gives you missions. You complete 10 of them. You've probably seen them here on the map. So it's these guys here. So when you do them, when you complete all of them, you go back to the Tree of Whispers, and it gives you rewards. These rewards, you should do these. They're fun, actually. They're entertaining. You should do these up to, let's say, level 65. Like from 45, when you finish the game around 45, 50, up to 65, you should do these because they're fun. They give you a lot of XP, like over 100k. For every, on top of the missions that you're doing, the reward itself is 100k, plus it gives you good loot that you're going to use. That's up to 65. After 65, anything you get from there is pretty much crap. So there's no reason to do that part anymore. Then you focus on the Hell Tides. And when you're doing the Hell Tides, go to a website called helltides.com. And it's going to show you what time the Hell Tides start, and most importantly, it's going to show you where the mystery chests are, because after level 65, that's the only thing you should go for, mystery chests. They're 175 flames they cost, and they're going to give you the best reward. They're going to give you 4 or 5 weapons. Usually it's better rolled than anything else you'll get somewhere else. Plus, they give you a lot of materials that you need when you upgrade your legendary weapons, which is the souls, I believe, fractured souls. So yeah, absolutely do just the mystery. Just focus on that. And yeah, so before that part, before you reach level 70, while you're still in that phase in tier 3, you should do the whispers and the Helltides at the same time, because a lot of the Helltides overlap on the whispers, so you can be doing the whispers and the Helltides. So the Helltide will be here in this region, for example, so you can do these, and while you're doing these, you're actually killing a lot of enemies that are giving you Helltides flames, and then you can open the Helltides chests. So you can do multiple things at once. You can also do something else. Sometimes you get lucky. That's like doing 2 things at once. Sometimes you get lucky and you have, if you didn't complete your renown, you'll have a mission on top of that. And what you can do is, let's say this guy here, Cultist Refuge. Let's say you have a nightmare dungeon for Cultist Refuge. Plus you got the Helltides here. Plus you have the Whisper Tree on the Cultist Refuge. So you would be doing 4 things at once. You just do the Cultist Refuge one time, and you're getting your mission done. You're getting, so the Renown, plus the Whisper, plus the Helltide, plus, what else? Oh, the Nightmare. So you're doing 4 things in one. So you can always try to manage it that way to complete much more at once. When I was beginning, I was completely lost at what I should do first, what's important, what gives the best rewards, what's a waste of time. So obviously, again, when you're going up the storyline, it's all nice, it's all fun. You're doing the story, you're doing the side missions. Put that apart. But after you finish, between level like 45, 50, and 75, which I'm at now, it can get really like it can be frustrating because you feel like there's nothing happening. But if you get organized, and the way I just told you, if you have these rules, like one thing for that's like a 10-minute thing for the level, which is legions, and then the other stuff, the Helltides particularly for the loot and for the fun. Helltide is really fun. I wish all of them were like Helltides. Then you can continue having fun while you wait for season. Hopefully season is going to be great. We're definitely going to try that together and talk about it together. And there's one more thing I'd like to talk about in the next video. That's about the barbarian, how to best manage the barbarian and how to best build your barbarian. So we're going to talk about that in the next video. I'll catch you soon, guys.